Welcome in. Howdy doody.
Hey,
It's your boy Ryan.
It's your boy Easy.
And you're listening to Turtle Soup and watching, potentially, hopefully.
It's true.
Turtle
Hopefully.
Soup. The Internet Day, the world's only community supported podcast dedicated to the ongoing journey of the TMNT, all the way from the very beginning until I find a way to hunt down those bullfrogs in my pool and kill them. I don't know if I ever will. They've come back.
Uh-oh.
I found out that a bullfrog can live 7 to 10 years.
Yeah.
That's going to be too long. And now that I have a bow and arrow, I need to get in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've heard do the work.
I've heard they've been named Jeremiah a lot.
Yeah.
That's all I've heard about.
That's what they say, but do I trust anything they say? You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
who said that? Who said that?
You know what I'm saying?
Big bullfrog? What's that propaganda?
Yeah, Big Bullfrog told you that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Nobody cares.
We are also live. We're live on Big YouTube. So be sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, get all them notifications about new videos and live streams. Share the stream. Let everyone know that we're here. You know what I'm saying? If you're not a listener, come on over and do the thing. Live chat's legit. Live chat was awesome during the pregame show, which we always do a pregame show about, 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how long Ryan wants to talk about baseball shit.
It's true.
So come on over and hang out in the chat and stuff like that. Now, something that's not baseball bullshit is who our wonderful patrons who sponsored this episode.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
I do.
We have a Patreon, patreon.com. Look up that Turtle Soup Show. We've done been making this thing. You know how it is. Been over 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dang.
And you can be named out just like these two fine patrons yourself. You know what I'm saying? So just get in there and check it out.
True.
Now, these patrons, these are two big ones. They're big ones. And we don't say Clang because they're around.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? Those two patrons are Anders Berg and Jake Niehaus.
Ooh.
Jake was in the chat earlier.
He was.
Chatting it up.
I have a story
He's
about
in his
Jake.
dead ball era. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is.
Good.
Speaking of things that aren't dead balls, is a step on the journey tonight.
Yeah.
And it's a special one. I don't want to alarm anyone,
Yeah.
but it's a pretty special step in the journey. Eric, what is it?
Oh, it is. We're going all the way back. We're stepping back into October 10th, 1997 to be exact. And that is going to be Ninja Turtles. Sorry, I got thrown off because I think you actually fixed my notes for me. So thank you. But no, October 10th, 1997, Ninja Turtles, The Next Mutation, Episode 5, East Meets West. Let me make sure. Is this correct? Part 5. Yes, indeed. Part 5, everybody. Part 5. We done it. We did it.
We're through the
We've met
whatever
everybody.
I guess was a pilot concept. I don't understand, but we're through it.
Yeah,
and
it's something.
We'll be sharing that with you.
Absolutely. Oh,
So Eric, how you been, buddy? What's been on your docket?
I've been a roller coaster of emotions, Ryan, because I might have mentioned this before, but yeah, we'll start on the high note. So I didn't. You ever have the moment where like there's a band you want to see desperately, but like they're coming to, in our case, Orlando, which is fine.
Orlando. We don't go off with.
That's true. We don't go
Orlando.
Off with, no, you don't. Not often. And but the place is fine. Like it's not a problem. It really with the place, it's more about the drive there. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
Like I just hate it.
And
so I just decided not to go, and then I ended up hating myself. And then thankfully that tour went through our good friend Jake Niehaus's neighborhood, and he decided to go, and he was so gracious to hook me up with some merch that
oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, he got me this Sunny Day Real Estate hoodie I'm wearing right now. And it's super comfy and cozy, and I really appreciate that. It made my day, year. It did a lot for me, Jake. So thank you very much.
And I'm sure he told them sorry that you couldn't attend.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, yeah. I sent him a video.
Seeing them wasn't worth making a 45-minute drive.
It's true. I sent him a video of me apologizing to them, and he played it for them like during the set, like just held it up. And with the closed captions on, because they're playing. Obviously, they can't watch, but they saw it.
Yeah.
He assured me that,
of course,
that they saw it. That's what he told me. So
yeah.
So Jake, thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate that. And he sent us some gifts as well. He sent us a nice letter that's going in the scrapbook for everyone who sent us things. And So when I believe you said you might be in my neck of the woods this weekend, and if I'm
Will
going to
be.
be here, because I have to actually go to Orlando for work, but I will be back
Orlando.
at some point this weekend. But we can parse out which ones we want, because
Oh, neat.
yeah, because it's
Yeah.
for sharing. But I want to show it real quick. For those on YouTube, you can watch it, but if you're listening to the podcast, you can just hear it. But he sent
Let's
the
see.
Vac Metal Playmates foot soldier mummy,
Oh,
dude.
neat.
Sick. It's so cool.
That is super sick.
Yeah, yeah. And then he sent something that I don't think. I mean, I knew it existed, but like I just don't think I'd ever actually looked at it, because we haven't covered Next Mutation in the action figures yet for the show. So this was, I think, my first real impression or just encounter with Venus de Milo's action figure, which is really neat. Yeah, she's got that rat tail braid like you had on your grandma's
no,
counter, dude.
that's correct.
It's pretty sick. It's probably the same length, right? Or was it a little longer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it feels shorter on the show, but I don't know that.
How does that look? Does it look a little bit more if I put it?
That looks like my grandma would have loved to put that on the windowsill.
Okay, good. That's what I was going for.
With windowsill approved.
And so, and then lastly, I forget the technical term for these, but they're the little marble shooters that are vac metal. Oh, dude, yeah. It's so good.
We geeked out on those so hard back
did.
in the day when we reviewed them, dude. We were geeked out so hard.
Yeah, this is so cool.
It's
and
like
so
brought to you by Vac Metal, bro. Oh
it is.
God.
It totally is. And so yeah. So Jake, thank you for these. Thank you so much. And you didn't have to do that, but thank
we
you
might
so
need
much
to
for
have
doing
like a
that.
custody hearing about that shit. But
We're gonna have to draw lots.
You know what I'm
split them
saying?
down the hat.
Like I and I'll be honest, I don't want that hearing to be held in Plant City Court because you're way too in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's
We
true.
need to
it's
we
biased.
need to get that like out
Totally
the 13th, like over at Edgecombe.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like we're my neck of the woods. You know what I mean?
They have a chopping block for cases like this where it's like the Solomon, like half in the baby kind of thing. We totally have
Sounds
that
good.
here.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And then so that was the high point. That was totally the high point. The low point was the emotional just dregs that you get dragged through as an eBay seller. So I sold, and I'll try to make this as quick as possible, but I sold a Marvel or not Marvel Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat figure to somebody who asked to pay more than I was asking for, and I agreed to their terms. And they asked what the quality was. I took it out. I looked at it. I found a problem with the hand, and it wasn't really a problem. It's just the peg that when you switch it stays in the hand instead of in the wrist. And I let them know that. And I was like, everything else is just like new. I just posed it once or twice and put it on the shelf. That's pretty much it. Well, all kinds of problems with the mail happened, and they couldn't, like, it didn't get to them on time. They were very impatient, polite but impatient. And then they get it, and then they want their money back because they say it broke out of box, like as soon as they took it out of the box. And I'm like, there's no way that it would have done that because I messed around with it. What it sounds like is that I didn't fully pose it all the way, and this person took it, and it was a stuck joint, and they broke it. And they want their money back. And eBay favors the
of course
buyer, which I understand to a degree, but at some point, but it makes you as a seller, because this person wasn't necessarily insulting my my character necessarily, but in so many words, but they kind of were, and it kind of feels like that. And it's like I want some vindication because I'm like, no, it's less about the money. Like, you know, I wish that I could still keep it and everything, but it's just like, I don't know, like that just really it just gets you down in the dumps because you want to like someone like me, like I want to make sure I do right by everybody, and I try my best to do that. And so just having something like that just really wrecked me, and I just kept feeling like I did something bad, and and most of it was me standing up for myself. Like I felt bad that I was telling this guy, I'm not giving you a refund. I sold you a figure that was clean and that was all together. The one you received or the one that you broke is broke because of you. I was like, these things are delicate, and if you don't handle them like that, you know. And I felt bad about it, but why do I feel bad about standing up for myself? That's the question.
So we messed with that. So my experience from that, it's not eBay, but it was TCG Player when I worked at the game shop.
Right.
And, you know, the Magic card thing was crazy. And those policies are very similar to eBay policies. And the only like backstop there really is, right? And you kind of like feel bad, but you're like, oh because like somebody can just do this once and just win.
Yeah.
But if they are pretty good about tracking, if they have a history of this, like they'll start flagging that account, and you could lose your account pretty easily. Like it just sucks because if you just occasionally do it, like kind of you space it out, you kind of win.
Yeah.
If you're running that plan, you kind of win, which sucks.
Yeah, it does. And I don't know. I've had it happen once before where somebody said that I didn't disclose everything about a camera, even though in the listing I say, I know nothing about this camera. Ask all the questions beforehand, and they didn't. And so that was very asinine, and it makes you not want to use the platform. It's very, very infuriating.
It can be a rough experience. Unfortunately, I think that eBay just goes like, well, other people want to sell stuff, so
yeah.
Like,
and of course,
you have no leverage.
Yeah,
really.
And of course, it's the most expensive item I've sold in a while. Of course, it would be that one. That's the one that it happens with.
And now you're facing what? A prospect of like you just get this broken shit back. Right?
Yeah, so
and you lose that money.
Yeah, so I told him that no, I'm not going to do it as it said in the agreement, which eBay doesn't hold it, but still, it's like a gentleman's agreement, I guess. That I said no returns, and he's like, it's broken merchandise, and I'm like, well, that's not my merchandise. I didn't make that figure. Storm Collectibles did, and that you Google it. There's all kinds of issues with these things. So, but he's like, oh, I'm going to get eBay involved, and I'm like, oh, I don't care. eBay's involved in this whole thing, so just that doesn't matter to me. Go ahead and do it. And he did, and so I offered a partial refund, like a half, like I just halved whatever he paid, and I was like, all right, let's, because they're probably going to force my hand anyway. So
to make some kind of compromise.
Precisely. So so I did that, and I posted all the pictures, and I don't know. It would be really neat if it worked out in my favor. I doubt it will, but it's made it to where I'm like, I don't want to deal with some of these people that seem very eager about getting something. And it's just weird, but it just wrecked me, man. Like, cause I care so much about my character, and I'm like, I think about any time in my life where something has come up where that's happened, and I'm like, oh, it's debilitating. Like I take off work, and like, you and I had something that happened years ago, and like I went to you and I was like, yo, this is what's up. This is everything. Let me tell you all this stuff.
Here it is. Ironed out like real fast. Yeah.
And I'm like, cause I don't like and so I think that's what it is that I couldn't like, I don't know. There's just nothing I could do about it. And so I had to kind of reassure myself and be like, did you do anything wrong? Did you hurt? Were you malicious? None of that stuff. Did you do more than what you should to help? And I did. So yeah. So, but that was the down point. And so now I'm kind of on an upswing with this show, because like I'm so excited about being here tonight and seeing you and all of our friends. And so that's me.
Jake, replying to your thing really fast. Jake says, same thing happened to me when I sold an old Jack specific Rocky figure last year. I didn't know what to do. You're good, Eric.
Oh, dang. Well, thanks, Jake. Yeah.
It's a thumbs up from us, producer, sponsor of this episode. Yeah.
So, well, thank you very much. And, I appreciate that.
We all support you, man. You know what I mean? Like the hashtag Team Eric against this asshole. And you know what? Like, all I'm saying is like, I don't know if it came out where that person's state or city that person was in, probably got a Turtletarian. Go mop it up.
Yeah. Just,
when I say mop it up, I mean, like, obviously just like take care of, like things in the city, like
things
in the city.
You
know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Something needs to be cleaned up. Probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you
come
mean.
out and fight the guy. You know what I mean? Like, how would it be?
Yeah. I get it. I get it. Well,
okay. Well, I'm sorry that happened. And you're a man of excellent morals and ethics, and obviously you wouldn't do anything or sell anything that's in a rough spot. I mean, I did vape in your house that one time, so if you didn't disclose that, then you're actually terrible.
I literally say the date and time on all of my listings of when you did it, and there's a picture of you on there.
Is there? Did you include the whole story though about how you said it was okay and then you acted like it wasn't? Did you?
Yes, all of that.
Did you include the part where I said, "Is this cool?" And you're like, "Sure." And I go, "Really? Is this cool?" You're like, "Yeah, no problem." And then I vaped literally one time, and you were like, well, I guess I can't say smoke free home anymore. And you did that whole plan. Did it say that whole thing?
It does verbatim. And then it shows you and your tank top when I made you take off your shirt because I got a new couch and I didn't want the smoke smell on it.
Bro, I forgot all about that. You actually did that.
Yeah. I
So you
wanted that
actually
story.
did that.
That's a
And I
memory
remember
we have
because
now.
I went off. Because at the time, okay, you guys gotta remember. So at the time, Eric is this bachelor, right? And he's got this house, okay? And the weird crap that would go down in Eric's house, like would he literally say, he goes, "Hey man, like could you like because I was it cold or something? Because I had like I think I had an undershirt under my shirt, and
Probably.
you said, was it you told me to take off my top shirt?
I guess. I think so. Yeah. Because you had an undershirt
And
on.
the thing is about Eric is it was pretty like he spent money on this couch, and he was being serious.
I just got it like that weekend probably.
He just got it, and he just didn't want that like smoke on his thing. And at the time, Eric's eating the same thing for dinner every night.
Out of the same pot.
Eric out of the same pot. Eric would make up a mess of this chicken, broccoli, something,
rice,
mushroom, something.
Yes.
Yeah. And Eric's oven, then I said this at the time. I was furious. Eric's oven, the range top itself, was so gross. Okay. That when he started up the burner, and I watched him do this 100 times, it was like a cigarette worth of smoke coming off that goddamn thing. Every single time. Because your boy would have his carrots pop out, and they would pop on the burner, and he'd be like, whatever, the fuck, just burn off. So when he told me to take that shirt off before I sat on his couch, my first response was like, Eric, you burn about 3 carrots every time you cook dinner every night. That's more smoke than's on me, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But no, Eric was that was oh my god. I think maybe I blocked that out. I think I dined out on how much various smoke you had in your house. Like I think I dined out on that for like 15 minutes. And if I recall, I did not sit on the couch.
You did.
I think I refused to sit on the couch.
No,
I did sit on the couch.
You did. Yeah.
And I took my shirt off too.
You took your shirt off, and you had the tank top underneath. And
but I spent the whole time on the couch yelling about your smoke and stuff.
And I think we did a show like that. I think we did a few shows like that where you just kept doing it, and I was like, okay. I was like, dude, the new. I wanted that new couch smell. I'm sorry, but I get it.
I guess,
it's
dude,
weird.
but like,
dude, it's my first couch. This is my first couch that I bought. That wasn't from my dead aunt.
But got me so bad. That was like some Seinfeld shit. I got so bad about that, dude. Like, I was like, you have got to be kidding me about this, dude. Like, you've got to be actually kidding. Because I think when you first said it, it's a huge tangent. I thought it was a joke. Like, you go, hey man, like, would you like mind like taking your shirt off and just doing your undershirt? Because I don't want to like cigarette smoke like on my couch. And I think I laughed.
You might.
And then you go, no, but like, could you take the shirt off? I was like, are you fucking serious? I was like. So good.
It was so good.
That's so good. But yeah, no, but yeah, the vape story was like almost like, well, actually the vape story was like a bait and switch because I had a vape and I go, dude, can I do this in your house? I did not just do it. And you go,
right.
Yeah. You go, oh, and we talked a little bit about what it was. I remember that. I was like, yeah, it's like water vapor. It's not smoke. Right. And the vape just come out. And I was like, yeah, is it all good? Few times I hit it actually. Like I kind of was intentionally trying not to do it a lot. Like it was just minor. And then afterwards, Eric literally said, "Oh well, I guess I can't say that these are from a smoke-free home." And I just like
because it hit me. I hadn't thought about it until like then.
I stared at him. I was like,
"Oh,
still." I'm like, "Still smoke-free?" Like, well,
I
guess, but I mean, it was kind of like a cigarette, but it's just steam. And I'm like. I went right back on that. Like, you produce so much smoke in this house.
Yeah.
Like, your oven and your range top are like, they look like the Apollo capsule when it came back from like the moon, dude. It's like so burnt and awful. But I still got me so bad.
But I still got that film on it though, on the back for when we sell the house that I can peel it off and it's going to be just like new.
Yes. No, the oven. Yeah, no.
Oh goodness!
You just keep that plastic on the back.
It's still there, dude. It's still
there.
That
range was awful.
Yep.
That range was. No, I'm talking about. So I'm talking about your old one.
The
one that used to shock your dick.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. No,
that one like came with the house. That was from like 1965.
That one had that one had the burners that were
the coils.
The coils. Yes.
So, it was coils. It was like a sick, almost like a 70s like crock pot color, right? It was like a beige, yellow, gross. And I'm not digging on like literally that range when you turned it on with just smoke. That's not on you. That's just
true.
literally on the fact that like it's just old as shit.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking you have the oldest oven known to man, and it like fills the house with smoke like half the time you turn it on. But no, my shirt is the problem. My shirt's the problem.
All of that is in the listing, every Marvel Legend, everything that I'm selling, all of it.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
Yeah, so
I'm glad.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. So are you doing all right? How have you been? We haven't talked in a week.
Yeah, no, I'm doing all right. Like I said in the pregame show, I've had a really crazy week, so I feel like I'm kind of on the back foot a little bit.
Okay.
Like I feel like I'm in life and in my humor, I feel like I'm reacting, not starting things. Does that make any sense? Like I'm kind of reacting to what's happening. I'm on the back foot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes that's fine.
Yeah, but no, it's just been a crazy week. You know, stuff that happened in our friend group was rough this week, and stuff like that. So there's been a lot of that, and yeah, just stuff like that, and like a really busy week at work kind of put me back. One cool thing happened. So we were at the archery range on Tuesday, Brad and I, and talking to like the instructor there and a lot of the employees and stuff.
Yeah.
And they have a line on these bows, which by the way, you can buy. Like they're on this company called Prime. They're a bow manufacturer. And they are running a closeout deal on like all their bows from like 2017, 2018.
Oh, okay.
These are like $1,600 bows when they like at list price.
Right.
They're getting rid of them for $350.
Goodness.
All the way down to refurbished bows for $250.
That's not bad.
These are their top of the line flagship Target bows. Like they are. It's not some old crap. It is like literally like top end. And a lot of the guys at the shop shoot them and stuff. And he was like, yeah, they're kind of running out. So like, if you want to go, we can order it for you, but like you got to kind of go.
Okay.
So had to have a meeting of the minds with Alicia, my wife, and figure out the budget and stuff. And I was like, but dude, getting a $1,600 bow for less than I bought my starter bow for.
Yeah,
like,
that's nuts.
And my starter bow is a mission switch. It's basically a hunting bow. That's what it really is.
Yeah.
It's cool, right? But it's a hunting bow. It's definitely like almost like the Squire to Matthew's like Fender, right? Like it's like the off brand.
Okay.
And yeah, so I made the plunge.
Dang.
So
you're gonna have
being ordered
2.
I'm gonna have 2. One, I mean, this thing is like it's got a 39-inch axle length, which it doesn't mean anything to you. It just means the bow's taller.
Oh, okay.
Like you know what I mean? Like my one I shoot now is a 31-inch.
Oh, okay.
Like so from the top cam to the bottom cam, the height of the bow is 31 inches.
Okay.
This is a 39-inch bow, which is more of like a target bow. It's taller.
Right.
And that makes the bow a little more forgiving. Like when you're shooting target, like trying to be very accurate. Yeah, it's coming. And I'm really excited. And I got it for like $350. I'm like super hyped.
That's legit.
I didn't plan on getting a second bow, but now
nobody does.
I'm like,
but
you can't pass up on that.
For that price, you can't pass up on that. No.
But absolutely. I'm serious. If any of you guys like used to shoot archery and want to, or like, oh man, I thought about blah, 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 blah. Right now, if you can get in there and get it, like those prime bows on closeout are ridiculous. Like, and there's no catch. Like there's no like, oh, but they're broken. Or oh,
it's
but
just,
that
they're
was
just
an awful model of bow. They're just done with that model. They're tired of having it in the warehouse.
Yeah.
They want to get out of the parts for it and stuff. They want to like move on to their newer models, and whoop, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that I guess that was like the cool thing that happened this week. Was that.
Okay.
Like it was just really
that's cool.
Because I was like,
absolutely
badass. Huh?
But badass.
Yeah. You want to read an email?
Can you read an email to me?
I can.
That's what I want.
I can. Really fast, taking a small break in chat. Everyone says that our story feels like a Curb. Jake says it feels like a Curb Your Enthusiasm skit.
Oh,
because it totally does. Like the whole.
It
Well,
did.
I mean, can you take your shirt off? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like that's completely Curb.
There's things in my life, and we've talked about this before, but like you know the story about me going on vacation when I get at my job where they were like, hey, we need to have a meeting, and I'm like, about how you're messing up, and I'm like, okay, can we do it when I get back from vacation?
Oh,
Like that whole thing.
legend.
Yeah. So
Legend.
So like it's that same mentality, same thing with like, oh, I'm gonna tell, you know, Father Preston or old dad. And so I'm gonna tell them the story. I'm gonna need to make it as cool as possible. It's something similar to that where I'm like, oh, do I do this? I'm gonna just do this and see what happens. It's like you kind of roll the dice because then now we have a memory and now we get to share it. And like I love this, so I try to like embody that mentality in my whole life with any kind of situation that I can make like a story out of. And so hopefully Turtletarians do too. And if y'all have any stories like this, definitely turtlesoupshow@gmail.com.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Really fast, I'm just popping a link into the chat for the bow closeout.
Them bow closeouts.
Because John Clemens asked for it.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised he didn't just
John
know
Clemens
about
is
it.
a guy that I want to send a link to some cheap bows to.
There you go.
He's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
All right. So, email time.
Email.
Daniel Cottle sent an email. Says Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles X Power Rangers in Space collab.
Oh, yeah.
Subject.
We're on the precipice.
Hi,
of that.
Ryan and Eric.
Hello.
I'm watching the X Mutation right now because of the podcast. I was wondering if you guys plan to cover the 2-episode crossover between TMNT and Power Rangers in Space. The Turtles are really only at the end of the first episode, Save Our Ship, which kind of just lays the groundwork for the actual crossover episode. I believe episodes were released sometime after 16 of the next mutation. And he sends like some links to the Shell Shocked episodes and stuff like that of those.
Okay.
It's funny because I never watched Next Mutation as a kid. I was born in the late 90s, so my introduction to the Turtles was the 1990 movie and the 03 animated series. But I remember seeing this Power Rangers episode as a rerun and being confused as to why there was a 5th turtle. Anyways, glad you guys are enjoying the show so far. I'm about 15 episodes in, and it's been really strange and hilarious. Stay shalacious.
Oh.
Daniel.
Shalacious. I love that. I got to write that one down. So, Daniel, thank you so much. Yeah, we are 100% going to cover anything that the Turtles appear in that's Tokusatsu related that I can make Ryan watch. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are totally going to do that. So if they show up in the front tail end of anything in that genre.
Oh, the front. Okay, it needs to be the front tail.
You got to be the front tail. That's how you lead. You lead with that.
Yeah.
Like, it precedes you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no choice.
There's no choice.
saying,
It's the
you
way
walk
God
backwards?
intended. Yeah.
Don't mutate.
Yeah. So yeah, I was watching Power Rangers still at that point. I don't think I was watching Next Mutation at all. I have very few memories of it. I do remember that episode though. And then a couple years ago, well actually probably more like 8 or 9 years ago or something like that, I was going through Super Sentai and watching all of those, and I went through MMPR, and I remember seeing I'd watch the Super Sentai and then I'd watch the corresponding Power Ranger show. And In Space, I think was based off of Mega Ranger, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a minute, but yeah, they it was super cool when I saw them come on there, and I was like, oh snap! And In Space, I believe, is the first non-original members, like the original members of the first season of Power Rangers had nothing to do with that at all. It was all just new people. I think a lot of them were from some of them were from Turbo. I could be mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But definitely, I remember that being a thing, and I remember seeing it on TV and loving it and thinking that like I love all these crossovers and I just want more of this stuff. And yeah, I don't really remember what happens. I just remember them appearing when they show up at the battle at the end of like you were talking about, at the tail end of the first episode of that crossover. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. So we are definitely going to do that. And yeah.
Fantastic.
Shalacious.
Thanks, Daniel.
I think I spelled that right. Yeah.
Yeah, I for a minute I was reading out in the email that Daniel sent. I was like, I got one take at this.
Oh yeah.
And I just said it.
Yeah.
And it worked out because it could be very easily sharacious.
Yeah, it can get bad. You take it to the hospital. But like, I'm kind of tempted to want to, because I'm on a big Toku kick right now, like going through Kamen Rider and stuff again. And I was tempted, depending on how many episodes we had until the crossover, to go back and, if not watch the whole thing, because I can't fully remember if I watched the entirety of that. I think I did. No, because I stopped at I think I stopped at Lightspeed Rescue, at least in Sentai I did. I got into Lightspeed Rescue, whatever that one is. I forget what the Sentai version of that is. But I don't know if I made it to the corresponding Power Rangers show for that. But yeah, I'll have to get brushed back up on that, because that stuff's my jam. And I need to be an authority on something, you know what I mean? So,
All right.
yeah.
Well, I mean, authority on the Turtles right now. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true.
Like we are without a doubt the most well-read, outdated Turtles podcast.
Absolutely.
Like, so,
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah. So are you ready to pop into this review? You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying?
I think I might be.
Yeah. So before we cut in where we would normally clip, I just want to let everybody know. Obviously, chat's doing great. Daniel's coming back in the chat saying, still waiting on the Common Writer TMNT collab.
Ooh,
and
that would be amazing.
The way they show up honestly reminded me of the Mirage Future Toy collab, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are still experimenting with this format. I know it's one of those things where you keep watching reviews and you're like, well, they just keep working on it, I guess. But this is actually laying in big groundwork, because not only do we have to do the rest of this show, but eventually the 2000 series as well. Like, so 2003 and all those episodes are going to be using this format. So we're really like trying to hone it in, because we have a lot to chew through when it comes to that animated series, which will honestly be here before you know it. So we're trying to perfect this method, how we present it on YouTube, and how we wind up having less of a narrated, like, second by second. And we'll see how this goes. Because when I was typing the notes for it, I was kind of like, feels like I'm second by seconding it a little, like it feels kind of long versus what we were doing before. But we also want to have the images, and they have to correlate, so it's a whole thing.
But I will say, and I don't know if I'm speaking for you, but like doing the review for these has been way better and easier than the animated series for some reason. Like, the animated series at some point just got really arduous and was like really hard to do the reviews for.
It was rough.
Like,
absolutely.
Something about it just, I don't know why. But with this, it's been a breeze. Like, there's not been much, and not to say anything, not taking away anything from how good the show is. Like, it's not like it suffers because there's not more stuff we have to write or anything like that. It's just like, there's something about it that just works, that flows better, and it works better for what we do with it, I guess, is the way to say that.
I agree, and we'll see how this works. The way it's kind of broken up is like into sections that Eric and I are going to kind of switch off for 4 main sections, but then each point is a good point to stop and allow discussion if we want to, or if there's nothing that comes out of that bullet point, then we just kind of move on, is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Right? So
yeah,
we'll see. Eric and I are lately, we've been very, very good about pre-production. Not so great about finalizing what we're going to do with all the work we did this week, because we get on the show and we're like, looks good, man. Yeah, let's go. Even though we're communicating all week about the work, we never talk about, okay, I've seen the work.
Right.
How are we going to do it?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, almost like a cold read, except I wrote it.
Exactly. I have no idea what I'm going to
see.
say. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
October 10th, 1997. It's a big day. The Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant, who cares? We're out. We've been out on that for like 4 episodes now. This is like the new way. Last week on Turtles, they literally just call it Turtles. You know what I'm saying? That's where they're at.
Yeah.
We witnessed 4 episodes of this previously. Ninja Turtles, The Next Mutation, East Meets West, Part 5, the final part of East Meets West. That's what we're doing. This episode was written by Michael Mayhew and directed by Michael Mazzo. I guess last time on Turtles, okay, it's this setup we've been having the whole time. It is, I mean, the quick so basically is the Dragon Lord, Wick, and the Rank are set up in a warehouse in New York that looks a hell of a lot like a castle from a Hammer film. That's happening. They are trying to make this invincibility potion, but the Turtles have really been thwarting them, honestly. Like Venus and the turtles now are working together so well that they're kind of between the two of them, they're thwarting him at every step, and obviously that ain't great.
Yeah.
Last episode in particular, they had one of the rank wore the only mechanical spider boy that has the invincibility serum in it. He attached it to himself, activated the spider, and was kind of Super Saiyan. And everyone was kind of like, what? And nobody could do anything about it. But then they kicked it off of him, and he lost his power, got his butt whipped, and ran away. Leo looks like he was just wandering around the zoo, and that same rank soldier jumps over and kind of knocks him over right face to face with an actual turtle at the zoo. And he kind of malingers on him, almost like he's super high.
Oh, yeah.
But that has relevance. So now we open up this episode. Okay.
Yeah.
So we open up in a dream sequence. Like Leo is having this dream and he's in this dream realm. I actually really like the cinematography here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was interesting in the fact that like the cinematographer for this like really likes to like rotate the camera a lot and do weird stuff. And I feel like this was like this cinematographer's like magnum opus as far as like getting those effects back to back because he got to do a dream sequence finally.
Yeah, it was neat. It reminded me a lot of Power Rangers in the whenever they would go to whenever they would go to the I think it was like their version of the negative zone or whatever. But I remember Jason and some of the other Rangers would get stuck there and they'd have to fight Goldar, and there was just smoke everywhere. And it was really eerie and stuff like that. But Leo's version of this is just a bunch of it was just one turtle that he saw that I have an image of. I swear I do, and I'm going to find them as soon.
I was wondering what happened to image times, but we reloading that. All right, cool.
Yeah, we're reloading that.
So in this dream, he sees ostensibly the turtle he saw at the zoo. However, in the dream, of course, it's like gigantic. It looks to be a real gigantic tortoise. Like it's like huge.
Yeah.
But as he's having this dream, it kind of turns into a nightmare. The turtle starts telling him that he needs to find a new way, like that he has to find a new way. And the more Leo questions it, the voice turns into the voice of the Dragon Lord, who it kind of becomes a nightmare real fast. And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna get you. There's no place you can hide." He's like, "No, right?" He's not doing great. So he pops out of all this. And we switch over to. Did you want me to wait on you, or you want me to just keep?
Going? You might better want to wait because sorry about this, guys.
You might better.
Might better. I uploaded the images from a future episode. So because I was like, hold on a minute, this is not the right thing. So I'm having to reacquire these assets. I do apologize.
Did you want to reset the review, or
We can start once we get back to the dream thing, possibly. Like that we just covered the dream stuff, and then
you just cut it together for the clip then.
No. I can take care of it. But yeah, I just
all right,
just gotta do this. I apologize, everybody. But yeah,
you're fine.
Just be a minute.
Nicodemus in the chat says, "Eric, remember the Burger King times."
Remember the Burger King times?
No idea what
I
that
do
means.
remember the Burger King times a lot. Because if that's who I think it is, yeah. We'd go to Burger King during work, and we would. I think Nick would take me in his chariot that was adorned with ants everywhere, and
yes,
the ant times, and it was nice. It was. I didn't know. You never knew what was going to happen, like if you were going to get carried away by ants, or what the case may be. It was
maybe
always
you would be elected the queen of the ants. You don't know.
That's what I was hoping for, but a boy can only be so lucky, and
that's true.
Yeah, so, but I definitely remember the Burger King times. Ryan, do you actually, while we're talking about Burger King for a second, and doing this, do you actually have any insight as to why some Burger Kings have more? Why some Burger Kings have more flags than others, like on top of their kingdom?
That is definitely pursuant to like their favor with the Burger King at any given time.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know what I mean? More flags.
I do. More flags.
You're higher in the
That
favor.
makes perfect sense. Okay, because Shannon, my wife, and I, we we have tried to like, get that figured out, and we could just never come up with like a logical explanation. But that is actually very sound. I never thought of it that way. But that, yeah, no, now I can't
Yeah.
unsee it. It's you've opened my
You want to hear
eyes.
a funny story about Burger King? So lately, I've just been getting the hell out of some Burger King breakfast. I don't know what it is. It's just got a hold on me. I don't know what made me go back to Burger King breakfast. Maybe I just had a craving for it. But the last like good number of like few weeks, maybe last month, dude, I've been eating it almost every weekday morning. Like it's been very close, like at least 4 times a week.
Right.
And when I was talking to Alicia, my wife, about like buying that bow, I was like, yeah, I know it's like some money, but like also like, like it's kind of a weird deal. You can't really get that. Like I got to jump.
Yeah.
She literally looked at me and goes, if you just stopped eating Burger King breakfast, you could afford that. So
yes.
And I was
oh my gosh.
And I looked
amazing.
at her and I go, I'll never eat it again.
There you go.
And
dude,
let me tell you, it might be a little bit why I'm feeling a little down. The last like few days, I've been like detoxing from it. Like my body in this time has been like, where the hell my Burger King?
Right.
And I'm like, dude, remember how we didn't used to eat breakfast? My body's like, I guess. I'm like, we're going back to that. My body's like, no.
Yeah.
And I feel sick hungry, like at like 11 o'clock, like I'm gonna die. And I'm like, that's awful. Yeah, my body has definitely become adapted to it.
But I love that
the other thing about
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, I love that's the same logic I use for things. Like that's why I don't get drinks at restaurants and stuff, because I'm like, oh, water's free. And a drink is going to cost me like $3. And if I find $3 bin CDs, then that's $3 bin CDs. That's that logic I've run my whole life.
That's that mentality.
So
no, it's legit. It's legit. In the chat, we got Jake. Another Burger King question. Does anyone remember when they changed their fry recipe in the 90s and Mr. Potato Head was the mascot?
Oh,
I do remember that.
Absolutely, Jake. I totally remember that. And I loved it so much.
Yep.
I had such a thing about like eating Mr. Potato Head. I was like,
yes,
I'm eating Mr. Potato Head.
That was back when Burger King tenders were bad ass.
It's true.
Those Burger King tenders back in the 90s were like, what's up?
It's true.
And then I remember the only like down spot in that whole time was when they went through the like weird colored ketchups are cool phase.
Yeah.
And like they had all this ketchup and a lot of it just straight up like tasted like paper. And I was like, why?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Wooly Rhino in the chat says, man, that Burger King breakfast is dangerous. LOL. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is dangerous because it's really good. And they have the little $50 little hash browns that are easy to eat.
Oh yeah.
And then their Coke is awesome.
Yeah.
Their like actual Coke is so good.
Yeah.
So you run that play on that Coke, and then that like you get that bacon, egg, and cheese situation kicking.
Yeah.
You're eating that, and like you get done with that, bro, and it's good. And it's not even that heavy.
Yeah.
Like, so you get done and you feel like good, and then it gives me superpowers because normally I have to eat lunch like kind of early, just cause like hypoglycemia, just cause.
Right.
But this gives me like superpowers. Like I can eat like lunch at like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Like normal people can be like, I haven't eaten yet. You want to eat? Like at 2 o'clock without breakfast, I am on the ground. Like it is awful. So it gave me superpowers, which I kind of regret like losing.
But you get
but
that
also
bow,
I want that bow.
And it's temporary. Yeah. Once you pay the bow off, then you can go back to the king and pay him.
That's true. But I know it's not good for me, man. That's not good for me.
It's not good for you.
Burger King breakfast like 4 or 5 days a week is not good for you.
It's not good for you. But like, it has it been messing with your dreams, Ryan? Because it seems like I think Leo might have had some. I think he might have had something happen like this because his dream that you were telling me about a minute ago, that was kind of nuts.
Okay. Let's reset a bit because I need to. I got a cough on my ramp here.
Okay.
You want me to pick it back up in the beginning or do the whole intro?
No. You can just probably get to where it starts, like where we start getting into this episode. We don't have to do this so basically or anything.
Okay. So we open on a dream sequence with Leonardo, which I feel like the cinematographer like really got their rocks off on this one because they've been trying to throw those sideways angles at us like all day long, the whole time. But now it's like, oh, we're in the dreams,
right?
Like not the dream realm where there's all this other like background early digital effects crap going on, and I can't really get funny with it.
Right?
I'm in an actual dream. this camera is sideways, and it will be tilting like that all the time.
Yeah.
So this frame in particular you picked up is great because the "I want to wake up" is like literally what my kids used to yell when they were like little toddlers and they were down for a nap. And I'd be like at home with them, and they'd be like, "I want to wake up." But they'd be down for a nap. It'd be like nap time. They have like an hour nap time.
Yeah.
And it's like 10 minutes into nap time. And I'm like,
goodness.
And what you learn as a parent is you kind of like, when they're little babies, you have to go in there and kind of remind them that you're alive. You're like, hi, object permanence. I don't go away. Right. But when they're like a toddler and they know better, they're just yelling for effect. And you're like, that doesn't work. So you don't really reply. But literally, I want to wake up. Like that's all I ever heard. To the point where like, I think I told this story on the podcast a long time ago. I used to literally like, stand in my kitchen, like making tea, and he'd be like, I want to wake up. And I'd be like, wake me up inside. Like I'd be like singing the Evanescence song. Cause like they would say it so often.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And yeah, it was like a whole thing.
That's
but anyway,
excellent.
Leo wants to wake up from this dream because it features a gigantic turtle, the same turtle that, ostensibly the same turtle that he encountered at the zoo last episode. However, this turtle is like, looks like the Godfather turtle. You know what I'm saying? Like, look. Yeah, that's huge. That's like gigantic. Like, that's not even close. The other turtle he had was like the one I got in my pool right now. Yeah. This guy's like the elder turtle, right?
Yeah.
And he's telling him that he needs to find a new way. Like, he keeps saying this over and over again. Like, this is all he'll say. But in this dream becomes a bit of a little nightmare boy because the voice starts to become that of the Dragon Lord. Yeah. And at the end of the dream, the Dragon Lord threatens him, says there's nowhere to hide, nowhere is safe, this and that. And it's rough. So he does wake up. He does also wake up inside, but we don't know about that till later.
Right.
Because we move on to the Dragon Lord's hideout.
Which is different this time. We get a different angle.
It looks like the house from, The Omen. Like that shot looks like the maid's gonna hang herself. Like right there. It does too much.
It looks like it's gonna. It looks like it's about to, from a movie, that it's about to pan down and actually show the rest of the movie. But like the people were, the budget was like really short this one, so they're like, let's just find that whatever movie we got, get that house. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot this house, and it's gonna be a warehouse castle.
Yes,
and that is what it is.
And dragons are gonna live there.
They are, and that's where we open up with the Dragon Lord and Wick. Who are licking their battles after their last wound, licking their wounds after their last battle. Sorry, over the fact that the turtles keep knowing right where they are.
Right,
like there's like no way around it. Like Dragon Lord's super mad, and they're talking about maybe spies, maybe like what's going on. I mean, no one knows how I suffer. I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had that hair, I'd suffer too, and I'd probably say the same words. But if you think your boy's on the couch, he's not. That's just a tilted angle from our cinematographer who just loves that shit. He's standing straight up. That is needed to be noted.
Yeah.
He just looks like Biggie with like the "mo money, mo problems"
he does
from that video. He looks like that. He's like on the couch. You know what I mean? But he's not. It's just angles. But the Dragon Lord has like a really big revelation because he figures out after throwing Wick around, which is super weird. It just opens up with him just like throwing Wick around. He realizes that if the turtles can track them, then they can just use that to lead them into a trap.
Right.
Which is fine. That's good. It's good. Yeah. It's good use. Little Sun Tzu there, right? Yeah. But
you could say
at the same time, that's kind of what they kind of did at the zoo, and the turtles won.
Yeah.
So that's my only thing about the plan. Whereas like we can bring them into a trap, and I'm like, were they going to win? Again?
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
What's the end game? Yeah. I know what you mean.
What's the end game? Yeah. So back in the lair, Donnie is analyzing the mechanical spider that they recovered from the rank lieutenant last episode. Hip hop drums, Jesus.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing. I was like, why?
And then you hear like, whoosh,
right?
Whoosh.
I gotta say, while we're talking about this, I love these transitions. They're so good. Like the establishing shots,
those are
excellent.
those are like crown jewels of these episodes.
Yeah.
The way they're cut together is these like real like filmed
Mhm.
New York scenes that are very,
Oh yeah,
very
so
realistic.
good.
It's neat. It feels like a movie. It's cool.
It does.
So in the lair, Donnie begins to analyze the mechanical spider that they recovered from the rank lieutenant, and kind of can't really find any rhyme or reason for how gross things are. Like he's kind of puts it in the microwave, and then the computer says like it's got water and bones, and he's like, "See, I don't understand."
Water and bones.
And in the analysis, we find that there is one ingredient to the invincibility serum that nobody in the lair is happy about.
Oh yeah.
Turtle eggs.
Yep.
And that ain't great.
No.
And nobody's happy.
Nobody.
It's rough. Venus is all right.
Yeah.
Like Venus is past it. Venus is like, well, that's terrible, but also this stuff's probably mystical.
Yes.
And this guy begins a whole subplot that goes on through this episode where Donnie and Venus kind of take different angles. Like Donnie takes the scientific angle on the serum, and he's kind of like, no, just one more analysis, and I'll crack how it makes you invincible. And Venus is like, no, obviously your science is crap, and this is a spiritual thing. It has some kind of chi energy or something that like will work basically for us.
Yeah.
And this will kind of come back.
I love this. I love this whole dichotomy of these two, and it's great. And Donnie says the thing that everything is magic until science figures it out, essentially. But
that was a good line.
Yeah, and then also the junk is magic is another good line.
Yeah, that's also good.
But yeah, I'm all about this. I love this whole tug of war. Yeah, between like the two of them trying to figure this out and like see where it is, and it's one of these things where, and we'll talk about it later, but the resolution to this, I love. I absolutely love it. But if you don't mind, before we move on, I wanted to bring up one thing in this scene in particular that I thought was very interesting, Ryan. So when we open up on this scene in the lair, we see your boy Raphael drawing a picture of him and Venus on a motorcycle with him saying, "Ride with the wind." And yeah, he's got his helmet on, but Venus does not.
Like there's more where that came from if you come to the dance with me. Is basically what that is.
Yes, that's exactly what that is. But like yeah, I have so much anxiety about this, dude. Like so much, because I would think maybe to do this, like if I had a crush or something like that, I would think about that, but then I would like to think that I would know better. And well, not necessarily that I would know better, but more that I would be so deathly afraid that somebody would find it and then expose me, and I'd be mortified.
So Jake in the chat has a good point where he says, "Are we sure that's Venus?" Because the more after he read that, I started looking at it.
Oh my goodness.
And that's not Venus's headband at all.
I wish we could zoom and enhance better than what I can, but we can't. So
all I know is that turtle has a blue headband that has two tails on the back.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Hold on. I've got physical proof. I've got physical proof of Venus.
Physical proof.
Venus is
now, Raph.
Yeah. That's a braid.
So I just assumed it was Venus too, to be honest. But now that I'm looking at it, that's Leo.
That I'm trying to see.
That has to be Leo.
So. Oh,
it's a dark shot. Like the shot's dark. You can't really see like a lot of.
But
because the next thing I would look for is like the chest detail, like because obviously like Venus's chest mold is different than the turtle's chest mold. So I'm looking for that in the picture or trying to see if she's more delicately built. And it does look like that turtle is a little more slight than Raphael, the way he drew it.
Yeah. Let me see if I can zoom in on here.
Enhance.
Okay.
Oh, so that enhancement's working really good.
There we go.
Oh goodness.
I don't know.
Go down a little bit. Let's see, like
okay, that's about as far as I can.
Okay. Let's see their legs.
Our limitations. I can zoom out a little bit.
So I will say that turtle does look very slight compared to Raph.
But I think the tail of the bandana is very telling.
That tells
if
a
you will.
story.
It tells a story. It totally does.
It tells a story.
It
So
totally
that's
does.
interesting.
I
So if it's supposed to be Venus, then that's just there's more where this came from if you go to the dance with me.
right. If it's Leonardo,
That's Leonardo, that is speaking to some like I'm not even gonna take it down Sex Street. What I'm gonna take it down is like actually kind of like a really kind of like sad, kind of like Raphael's like desire to be like that close to Leo.
yeah,
Like that when he chooses to draw a picture, right? Like it's almost like something you give like a child or something to be like do like a psychoanalysis on. You give him crayons. I mean, that's basically what he's drawing with.
that's
which
what
is
he's
weird.
drawing with. Right.
You give him crayons and you say, draw like me a picture. And what this is a lot about Raph's psychology when the picture is him and Leo on a motorcycle and it says ride with the wind. Like that's like his like envisionment of like a cool thing.
Yeah. There was more there than I thought there would be, but still, like. I
assume that that's supposed to be Leo, or I mean, it's supposed to be Venus. I would assume that just
that makes a lot of sense.
That's the point of what you're trying to do, right? No one's trying to make a deep psychological point that Raph feels distant from his brother and wishes that him and his brother could ride on the bike together and ride into the wind and be more united. I'm gonna assume they intend for you to believe that's Venus and that's his, dream of that.
But they're not brothers in this. Leo specifically told Venus that. So
good point.
They're not brothers.
That is,
and
yes, that's good. That I don't know if I'll actually ever like retain that fact for this show while we're in it.
Yeah, no,
because they're always brothers, and in this show they're not. And it kind of blows my mind.
Oh yeah. But
they're spiritually brothers. They do talk about that. I mean, like
yeah, I can see that. But the thing is too is that both his relationships with Venus and Leonardo kind of sort of mirror each other. They're kind of, I mean, you can make the argument that Raphael's relationship with everybody mirrors each other, that he's just not necessarily antagonistic, but just kind of opposed to a lot of other things, even though he's not like, I don't know, totally against them, but just stands in opposition usually just from whatever they're trying to do. But more than likely this was somebody forgetting that her bandana is a braid, and that's probably what that was.
And the face is more feminine. Like if you actually look at the face, the way that he drew it, it is definitely more feminine, and he looks more masculine. Oh, like I assume that's what. And that is.
Leo's got the skull cap in this, so that. Yeah, that stands there. And it could also just mean that he's in love with both of them and that he's just kind of making an amalgamation of both of them there. So, yeah, you never know. But there you go. God. Turtle Soup. That's why you come to us for.
Yeah.
Deep dive and analysis.
I guess so. It is unfortunate that they didn't get the tails on the headband right, so it'd be fairly obvious.
Right.
But yeah, no. No, I mean honestly, when I read that comment from Jake in the chat, I got chills.
Yeah.
That felt like that kind of like almost like creepypasta. Like, dude, is that what you think it is? Like, oh shit! Like, it kind of hit me a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but anyway, whether Raph is dreaming of a sweet bike ride with Venus or being closer to his brother, not brother, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a new way. It's a new way, one way or the other.
Brothers don't shake hands, they hug. You know what I mean? If you want to put it that way.
It's true.
However, that's kind of where that ends in kind of consternation over what's going on with the invisibility serum. And then, we're back at the Dragon Lord's lair where the rank have a training montage led by Wick. And only the strongest will be picked for the mission.
It's true.
Eric. So now let's get into a little bit this training hall.
Oh, this training hall is amazing. I am all about it now
because there's just a lot happening.
There is. I also think this is the same hall that you walk to just get to where the Dragon Lord sits all the time. I think this is just the one hallway. But I love that the doorway is a dragon's mouth, like a painting of a dragon's mouth.
That took time.
Yeah, that's amazing. And
Like somebody, instead of training to be a better rank ninja, someone had to spend their time making that.
that's true. Or do you think they outsourced it? Do you think that they just threw some like gold at somebody or something, or like did they, like did
Maybe
Rank just find
they
somebody?
went out into the streets and in the garbage and waited for like all the like dying like hair metal bands that were like obviously dead and dying in the mid to late 90s, like to come back from their last European tour and just dump off all their like stage crap. And like that was like something from like Scorpions like last tour or some shit. And they're like, yeah, use that.
We could totally use that. Oh yeah. Well, because as Splinter has made us well versed in the fact that like you just wait long enough in the sewers, you'll find everything you need to live a happy life. And
then you take that thing and then you sell it to your kids for a profit.
Right. Exactly.
Put them on payments. Yep.
Exactly.
Source that.
This thing is neat though. It's got like where did they have the time to put all? I don't know. I have so many questions. But like,
I love the best is I love it. Yes. Well, I love the best is like just spears sticking out of things at you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. They're just
fan of that.
Yeah.
Fan of like the bladed pendulum in the middle where you're like, okay.
Right.
Like it's almost like part of it is like, it looks like a leveling in like Contra.
Yeah. Yeah. It does.
You'd like get through the stuff, but you could shoot like in like one of like, 3 angles and there you go.
But like, jump. I mean, I'm not a ninja by any respect, but like, is that training, like, is there something else that teaches you? Like, is it like, it trains you in patience or like something? Because how many times are you going somewhere where that is an obstacle that you're going to have to fight? Like, I don't think that like museums or anything nowadays are going to have that.
I can see it almost being a little bit almost like a timing bag in boxing.
Oh,
where like the whole idea of like the timing bag is not like to like hit it hard. It's to like be like you're ready when it comes back at you.
Right.
Like and build timing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what that is. Like
that
you stay until the last second as like the pendulum's like coming back and you like jump out of the way of it. Then on the return strike, you jump out of the way of that and you're getting into this like rhythm with the pendulum of like moving your body.
That's kind of what I mean. I think by patience, but yeah, that was a more articulate way of saying that. Yeah.
There's a lot going on, man. There's a ladder.
There's some rope going on.
Yep. You need to work on that core. You need to do a little ladder exercise. And yeah, they're training real hard because like, yeah, your boy Dragon Lord's like, dude, I'm only taking the elite.
Yeah.
So,
and they're all wanting that serum.
Yep. But they still had enough time to film a reality show about it. That'll be coming out on E at some point.
Oh, of course. Well,
yeah. How do you, Eric?
So we get some more establishing shots, which are awesome. Like they went all out.
That shot's badass.
Yeah, this is
that
so
shot's
cool.
Just independently awesome.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And then we get this one of just people going through garbage. Just setting the tone. Thank you, Ninja Turtles. So you wrote in the notes, garbage pick clock. Is that what you were in reference to? This right here. Okay, shot. Good. Okay,
it was going to be back in the lair around garbage pick o'clock.
Yeah,
that's what it looks.
That's what it looks like. Oh my goodness!
Right. And like here they are, like going through the garbage. I'm like,
all right,
garbage pick o'clock. A great time to come back to another dream.
Exactly. So we're back in the lair with Leo, and he has another dream, and he's just talking like just in his sleep, just rolling around, just be like a new way. And you're wanting him to say like new wave, like that he should start a new wave band with the Turtles to like bring back that coming out of their shells. He's not understanding. And I think that's what the actual sage ancient turtle was trying to tell him, but I don't know. We still don't know, but we'll find out at the end of this episode. But nevertheless, this time, thankfully, the Dragon Lord is making an appearance in his dreams, and when he hears the ancient turtle tell him about the new way, like we just mentioned. So as he's mumbling in his sleep, Raph gets he gives some food for thought, like this kind of just gets in his Raph's head, and he's like, I just gotta. I gotta go do something. So he basically gets on the bike and takes off for some mega shellage. You know what I'm saying? And
poses for like the most vaporwave photo I've ever seen, image I've ever seen in a turtle show ever.
Oh,
coming
this
up,
is so good. Coming up. you get I want to walk there for a second. So you get the okay, what's he talking about? And you get the classic where you can see the eyes like the slits, which is just
they're real bad. I feel
Right.
like you can see the pupils of the man in the suit through the eyes at that point.
you can. And so then you get the precursor to what you were talking about, where total turtification and
That
tire
starts
screech right here. This is amazing. This is so good.
I just hear like I hear it's like also like kind of some of that like new funk. Like I literally hear it's like Plastic Love playing. Like
Oh, yeah.
go back to the last shot.
Yeah.
It could just be a loop of that and the next shot.
So just this.
And it is the most vaporwave thing you've ever seen. Like I can hear that literal like VHS tape like spool up with that song. I can literally hear it in like that compression of those drums and those like synth saxophones. I can hear it right now.
It's got city pop all over it. Future funk.
It's hard city pop vibe too.
Oh, I love it. And
I literally like rewatched that sequence like 5 times because in motion, it's even more vaporwave. It's even cooler when you can see it move.
Oh, totally. And and he said for some reason he says the captions say it's great time. I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
but it's great time. Funny. They are, and that's why we show them. So back in the lair, we got all kinds of stuff going on. Everyone's just kind of doing their thing, figuring their stuff out, which is really interesting.
Can I interrupt you really fast? This is like the first time we've gotten like I think like a really like this angle of a wide establishing shot like of the lair. That place is trashed. Like, there's just way too much shit on the ground. I feel like Splinter would not be dealing with that.
That's a good point.
Level of like crap on the floor. Like, come on.
That's a good point. I do feel like it. On the one hand, most of all of that is just garbage anyway. That's the one problem that it has against it. This is all stuff that's been discarded. So that they've kind of appropriated and everything. But what I love is that we kind of got glimpses of this in the movies, in the live action movies, but like for some reason them just sitting around is just very weird. To your point,
it is
that I would think Splinter would be on them to clean the place up,
yes, that's all I'm saying. We're on the same page. That's my only thing is it feels like if it's just like
right,
and they're doing all that, it feels like if they're just sitting there and like Mikey's making like popcorn and shit that like. He'd be like, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. A little bit.
Yeah.
Now, cinematography wise and set design wise, I know why it's there. It breaks up the floor.
It does.
Like
it does.
If you look at like the sets are a little cheap here. If you look at what they've got, they've got some stuff. They've got a good number of chairs, the chess table, the couches back there, but it's actually very sparse. And I feel like they did all that to break up the floor so it didn't look so flat.
Right. Absolutely.
However, it bugs me because you never really see the turtles live like that, like in the movies and stuff. Like every depiction, it's like it's a sewer, yes, but it's not dirty. It's not like cluttered with garbage. It didn't feel.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it. If you saw, because someone might be, well, actually, but like. The feel is different. So I definitely get
they would never give you this wide of a shot.
They would never give you this wide of a shot. And it wouldn't be, I don't think it was this well lit. And we didn't spend as much time on it. And I think that's what's kind of the disconnect there.
Very true.
But nevertheless, I'm feeling what you're feeling. So you're not alone. But so Raph shows back up and he's like on this thing. Like he's on this tear where he's feeling like he's got this figured out. Like he knows what a new way means. He's coming in hot as if he just had Leo and or Venus on the back of his shell, like on that bike. That's what he's coming in on. And
both listen to that Plastic Love in the sunset. Are you kidding me?
All of it. Just
my god, dude! That song, like, dude, like loop it for like 5 hours on that motorcycle, and the sunset lasts the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh Lord a day. So that's what he's coming in like. And so, all kinds of stuff is going on between them. But there's this thing that happens because Raph drops the knowledge that he's kind of figured it out. And so, Ryan, would you like to run this with me? Would you like to reenact this?
Yes. I really. Yeah. So we have it scripted out because we're going to dramatically read it. Okay,
Yes.
like the big moment that Raph's and Leo's problem. Who do you want to play?
Ooh,
There's Raph, Leo, and I'll do Splinter because he has like one line.
of course. You do a great Splinter. I'll do
Yeah.
Leo.
Oh, okay, okay. Ooh, let me get my stuff.
Is that good with you? Like, are you cool?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
was prepared for either role. You
Okay.
know what I mean? It's all good. All right, so your boy barges in. I'm setting the scene. Your boy barges in, dude. He says straight up, he goes, "All right, so here we go. Here starts the ring." So you're seeing the picture of the scene. He barges in on everybody.
Yeah.
All right, Turtle, shells up. I got a plan. If that's okay with you, Leo.
Ugh, klutz.
Yeah, because he knocks over his
His
chest gate, which
chessboard.
is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
We monitor the city with Donnie's thing in the sky. The dragons go out. We bust them in half. Heh, good plan, huh?
Perhaps you've forgotten, but one dragon kicked all 4 of our heads in last night.
Number one, you're letting it get to you. Number two, you're getting soft, and I pop your ears because I'm a jerk.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, why was that? Why did that happen?
Stop bickering. A ninja's power springs from his mind. A little discipline, please. All this ninja junk is human culture. I'm mammal culture. We're reptiles, master, not rodents.
We're family. Why are you trying to destroy us?
Like you've been mumbling in your sleep. We need a new way. Blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
So
That was a good. That was a good rap. I kind of got lost in my Leo because I was trying to switch shots, but I think he's.
no, we did a good job.
Yeah.
I kind of stepped on some of the lines too. It's all good.
But
But I mean, yeah, like let's break it down. Like start to break it down because this is like Raph's like big point. This is like the kind of the plot. Most of the plot of the episode because this is like our gets us to our resolution. So this is like the the revelation of what the turtles need to do.
right, and I was not expecting this. Like this was huge for me. The part where he goes, all this ninja junk is human culture, mammal culture. We're reptiles, not rodents. Like all of that.
Yep.
I never thought about that. Like I never thought about their reptilian side. That what that would affect, how that would play into their psyche and like just how they feel and how they address anything. And I love that because this is just another layer to like why the turtles are like so like fascinating to me, I guess, because they're trying to be different iterations, of course, but like they're trying to be a part of the world that they're in, but they can't fully be in it. And then they're trying to survive in that as well, not just live, but survive. And then they have to fight other things, especially in this iteration, that they have to fight other, I guess, are dragons reptiles technically? Like, did we figure that out? But if they're,
they should be.
but if their blood's warm, because their blood's lava, because their blood was searing their hands in the last episode, right?
Yes, yeah, they were getting like blisters.
So they wouldn't be cold blooded then, correct? Or is that term not necessarily? Yeah,
it doesn't really account for animals that breathe fire. So
right, yeah.
Not an animal scientist, but you know, we're kind of a new territory here.
So the term's not based in reality. Okay, thank you for clearing that up for me. Okay, so yeah, but I love this, and I love that this feels like a teenage like conversation you'd have with like coming of age kind of thing, and like I don't know if I would have been able to handle this coming out, like, you know, getting out of school and be like, all right, let's turn this on. I'd be like, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe it would have resonated with me a little bit more, but yeah, I really, really, really dug how at least you've got Donnie, who's got the science. Leo's wanting to be the ninja. Well, I don't know really what Leo wants to be. Splinter is trying, you know, get the ninja stuff. And then Venus has all the magical stuff. So, and Raph's, I guess, trying to be like just a realist, I guess. I don't really know. But yeah, I don't know. I just loved this whole thing.
Yeah, I did too. It was giving me some thoughts, and I was trying to look up the issue. During the Mirage guest era,
Okay.
there was an issue. I think it was by Rick Vitch. I would have to check this out.
Okay.
There was or it could have been Steve Levine.
Okay.
There was an issue from the guest era that was super dark. Do you remember this? Where it was all about going back to like the reptile ways. You remember that? Where like they get in touch with that ancient creature.
Yes.
And she talks about like
And-
they like I think they have like a dream vision or something about like the remember that like they ate my eggs. You remember
Yes.
that crap?
Yes.
How like freaky
Yes.
that was? And they talk about like how things were reptilian and everything was that way, but then
Yeah.
the mammals came and the next step of evolution and basically like deposed the reptiles from the earth.
Yeah.
And this I'm seeing the cover. It's the cover with like where April, like half of April's face is a
Yeah.
looks like creature from the Black Lagoon.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I do know what you're talking about.
Anyway, yeah. So it's giving me vibe that his angle, and given earlier that they talk about the ingredients in the thing are turtle eggs,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay.
And then this statement about like, no, that's the mammal ways. We're reptiles. We need to go to the reptiles way. Really gave me vibes off this issue, that old issue of Mirage.
Oh, yeah. I could totally see that.
Sons of the Silent Age. Is that the issue? Mitch just came in the chat.
Let's see.
I feel like this is like really important.
Sons of the Silent Age. Let's see.
I think
here.
that's actually the issue, dude.
That is the issue.
I think you literally
nailed it. It is.
Damn, thanks, Mitch.
Let's see. It looks like it's. Oh, I can't really see what it is. Let's see here. Let me click on it.
Gestera. That is
so. Yeah, issue 28.
Stephen Murphy joint. That's Stephen Murphy, classic Stephen Murphy.
Yeah, issue 28, February 1990. Yeah, that's that. And yeah, the Mer people are probably who you were in reference to.
Yes, and
yes.
then yeah, April's keeping the diary, narrating the story.
Yeah. No, I totally get that.
Anyways,
that's
yeah. It has that vibe,
right? Because it goes back to them just having to deal with that, like that's because they're so immersed in our culture and like human culture, and then like even ninja culture is still human culture, and so seeing that juxtaposition is really neat here.
Get this, I'm gonna read a little quote from this issue of Old Mirage, because it's like in this article, it's like really, I remember us like creeping out about it. Okay.
Yeah.
This is like the last of these like reptilian creatures. I blink once and I'm pulled into her depths. This is from April's point of view.
Okay.
Blink twice and taste sun-warmed flesh cooling in clean glacial pools. The long friendship of the first long hairs. Twin shadows fleeing white betrayers hate. The new way beneath the moon. And then I am conceived anew. And as I grow, I watch my people wither, leaving behind young skeletal smiles. The same mindless killer ravages me now, unweaving the fabric of my flesh, stripping away the memory of my soul. We are the last five. I remember our mother, Black Curtain Embrace.
Oh yeah, Black Curtain Embrace. That's what we I think we called the episode that. Oh man. But a new way. They said a new way.
So yeah, the new way, right?
Oh,
which is weird.
That's super
just
weird.
saying, like, that was giving me these hard vibes. And I was like, wait a minute, I gotta figure it out. And then yeah, Mitch also says that there's also elements in issue 37 of Mirage, Twilight of the Ring, that includes the they ate my eggs thing. So I think I'm consorting this kind of together. But bro, all I'm saying is that's basically the view.
Yeah,
and it's weird because we've heard it before. This idea of like, no, like the reptile ways are the reptile ways, right?
Yeah.
And we got these mammal. This is all based on mammal stuff. And the last thing I'll say is it the new way that Raph's talking about, how he's kind of co-opted it,
right?
Kind of puts it. It draws a dividing line between them and Master Splinter as well.
It does,
which is kind of crazy, because he basically in this statement rejects the mammalian way of the ninja, really, like, and draws a line between Splinter and the turtles, saying like, you know, we're not you, like, it's pretty in that way. That's kind of crazy.
It is. It's it's interesting because they say as much, but then they end up going and having a Leo and Raph decide to go and talk ninja style, which
Oh, and you know what that
basically,
means.
yeah, you know what that means, and if you don't know what that means, it's on screen. Because
If you don't know now, you don't know.
if you don't know, now you know. That's what that
Oh,
means. That he's going to be
absolutely.
drawing that next on the. If you turn the page on his easel, like that's the next drawing you
Oh
see.
no,
Leo with that bow staff. So what was the thing you were talking about with your bow and arrow? Like the length of it, like it was 32 inches or whatever. Like
the axle,
the axle
length.
Okay,
It's,
would that apply to this bow?
39. I mean, well, yeah. If I was holding my bow in that fashion from the end of the bow,
yeah,
the back of the bow would be 39 inches.
Is that about as big as your bow? Like the one that you got? You think?
A little short. My bows would be a little shorter.
A little shorter.
I
don't know.
39, a little short. Who knows?
Who knows?
Might be dead on. Yeah.
It might be. If you
Who
know,
knows about it?
turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. But this is amazing. I enjoyed this fight scene. It felt a little contrite, like it felt like needless sort of, but like it also kind of felt like a little bit of couples therapy in a weird way where like they get together and they're like, all right, y'all are gonna not necessarily hurt each other, but y'all are gonna practice and talk at the same time with some karate yelling. And yeah, they have go ahead.
Sorry, really fast. I one thing I liked about this was it's a little bit of a callback to how the turtles entered the dream realm earlier, where they actually like got into a spiritual state by sparring.
You're right. I didn't even think of that.
So I think this is like kind of disguised as like the brothers have to fight it out to figure out who's right and to work out their problems. But I think what's happening also in the background is this is how they actually achieve the chi state and intellectual state to actually hash this huge problem out.
Interesting.
Like they have to fight while they do it, because we know from evidence from Venus that when they spar, they do create this chi energy, this good energy, and they do get centered into a place, which I thought was like pretty smart actually, to have them spar it out.
Oh yeah.
While also kind of letting the kids have fun because Leo and Raph are fighting. Like
That's
so
true.
it kind of serves both purposes.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. I'm not a parent, but like I could see this as a viable way to get your kids to work out their differences. I could see that.
Yeah.
But this is neat. They fight and fight and fight, and then Leo gets the upper hand, breaks Raph's bow, and realizes it's time to grow. So
yeah, and the argument that they have is legit. I mean, like Leo has respect for tradition, okay, and stuff like that, but he's kind of been told he needs to do the new way. And Raph's like, bro, I know the new way is, you just gotta like listen to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Leo's got ownership because he's kind of like, nah, man, like when I saw that turtle, I felt something at the zoo.
Oh, yeah,
like,
you're right.
He says that's a big deal. He's like, I felt something. This is my vision. And Raph's like, you don't have what it takes to follow through with it, though. Which is really interesting and got a lot of meat on the bone, actually.
It does.
The idea, you know, I feel like I'm in like art rhetoric class again or something in college. But what it does is it speaks to the power of like, or the big question is sometimes people that start something up or have an initial idea they're not the actual person to actually implement it.
Oh yeah. And it's like idea guy versus guy that can, or person that can get it done, you know?
Yeah, concept versus like execution. And sometimes you're not that person. Actually, I think that in our culture and the way that we hold people that are both those things very highly. Like somebody who can have a vision and then also execute that vision are wild. Right. Like that's insane because that's very rare.
Yeah.
But yeah, Raph begs that question as they're fighting. Like, are you the person to do this? You're telling me that you have this vision, but like, what are you doing besides clinging to Splinter's old ways? Yeah. Like it's very interesting.
It is very interesting. And if you haven't seen it, go find it because it's really good.
Yeah.
So I think we're back with the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, so getting away from that, because we know it's time to grow.
It's time to grow.
What I'm saying? Dragon Lord is growing weary of waiting for this whole zoo operation. Okay. So he's made the cut. I'm sorry. If I didn't call your name, go jump in Dragonfire and kill yourself, because only the best rank are coming with me to go to the zoo and get that dolphin scum.
The aquarium.
I mean, dolphin scum.
Yes. At the aquarium.
The aquarium, sorry. He rubs his belly when he says dolphin scum.
He does.
And I'm not convinced he's trying to indicate, like, dolphin scum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if he didn't just touch himself inappropriately.
Yeah, I don't
know.
I don't know where Dragon
All I'm
Anatomy
saying is we don't know where Dragon.
It's true.
We don't.
Right?
Is that whole thing when you kind of realize, like, the control center of a robot doesn't need to be in its head?
Yes, I was going to ask you, do you remember what your first experience was with that in fiction? Battletech. What is that?
It was an old miniatures game, and like it also had like comic books, and I was aware of BattleTech when I was in like middle school.
Okay.
And I might have friends that were into it. I never really played it, but they're big mechs, and in that universe, yeah, the pilot's center, the pilot's like chamber and stuff is in the chest, where obviously it's the most, guarded. It's the most like protected, and then the head is just visual equipment, because and some of them don't even have heads, because why would you?
Right, exactly.
It was brought back in the Mirage Volume 2 with us talking about it when Baxter left behind his body.
Yes.
And got in that robot, and its head and everything, his brain was in the center.
Right.
And we were like, that's legit.
Yeah, and I might have mentioned it there too, but my first experience was one of the Star Trek movies, one of the original series movies, where Kirk is in a fight and he goes to kick someone in the nuts, and they're not there; they're in his knees, apparently, his testicles.
Oh, that's pretty great.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty great. That's really cool.
That's pretty great.
Like, I would have loved to have been the sci-fi writer who first did that. That was like, how about this? You ready for this? Oh, they're not where you think. They're not where you think where they think. Whatever I'm trying to say, I can't say it. Goodness,
that's kind of like sometimes you just like really old visions of like really trashy visions of like sci-fi futures and like different like aliens. Just back in like the 60s and 70s was like, she's got 3 boobs.
Oh yeah,
and you're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's ooh.
She is literally a human in every way, but her skin is blue and she has 3 boobs. Cool.
Yeah. Great. Cool. All right. Yeah. Sounds like a handful.
Yes. That's the only that's the only dereliction between our evolution and theirs was like
one more boob.
Like,
yeah.
Oh. It's like I got 3 boobs. Anyway,
it's like I got 3 boobs.
Yeah. So he's got this going. He's got the rank ready for the situation. And then we learn, that we're going to be going for the dolphin scum. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the last ingredient that's going to let them make a ton of this invincibility serum for everyone. Even though now they magically have like enough for like, I don't know, like 20 ass dudes now.
Yeah.
Like,
makes no sense.
And mechanical spiders for 20 ass dudes. And everyone's got some now. Now I'm going to touch back on this later, because this is actually smart.
Oh, yes, because you thought the same. I think, you thought
this is smart. I think we're on the same page.
Yeah.
This is smart. It's you call it out and you sound like, oh, how'd they get so much serum? And you're like, oh yeah. That's actually pretty smart. Every rank is outfitted with a mechanical spider with the serum, and we're going. It's happening.
Yeah.
Back at the lair, Donnie and Venus kind of continue to debate between the science and spiritualism of what's going on with the serum. This is where Venus gets her chance to analyze it with her skills and says it has no chi, no light chi, no dark chi. It's got nothing. And then Donnie's like, damn near slaps it out of her hands, like, yes, your spiritualism's crap. And I'm like, just calm down. Like, this is the same woman that literally just produced dust that she blew in the air and could show you the future from 20 seconds
ago. Turn back time.
Like,
she's like Cher.
She's got something going on.
Exactly.
She literally had y'all fight and took you to the dream realm.
Yeah.
Where your master's spirit was like enchained and enslaved by the Dragon Lord, and then got y'all up out of there.
Yeah.
Her spiritual shit is actually real.
Yeah.
Donnie.
Yeah.
But once again, That's our B plot. Is it science? Is it spiritualism? Who knows? So then the turtles are alerted back to the Dragon Lord's activities at the aquarium and head out to intercept, but not before remembering to stop by the weapons rack.
Yes.
Gear up at the weapons rack.
This is so
that's
cool.
important.
This is so cool. Like, I don't think we've seen this. Like, not in this show. Absolutely.
Not in this show.
But like, I just love that somebody had to make this, like, on the production staff. They had to do this.
It looks like kids like science experiment from like the science fair.
It does. It's so weird, but I love that it's just there and it just looks the way that it does. I just really appreciate it for some reason. I don't know, but
it's cool.
And then
you really break it in. You realize it. You're good. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah. It brings you in, and it's a thing that makes you realize that, oh yeah, this is something that they would have this is just probably found wood and they painted it, and they just have things up there just to hold their stuff. And one thing that we haven't mentioned, I don't think, and if we did, it was probably on the first episode, but Michelangelo uses tonfas in this. I don't know if we've mentioned that. Yeah, which is something I forget. And Leo only has one sword, which I think is neat. But so another thing, speaking of production, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we get the next shot, because you said that they're going to go out towards the aquarium because they're something fishy is going on.
Gear up.
So they head out, and we get a new shot of the turtles in the turtle Hummer following Raphael on the bike. And normally we see this on that big open road, and they're just like, yeah, mega shellage. Here, they're like on the street, driving down beside cars. Like,
yes, like people going place to place, just seeing this display.
Like dead ass. There, I believe. Let me zoom in and enhance. Let's see if I can get over here. There's a person right there. That's a person in the 90s that saw this.
I missed a person. That's crazy.
Dude, there's a person right there that's just walking down the street, and all of a sudden, oh shit, there's the Ninja Turtles just here's in a half shell. Like that, my brain would not be able to compute that. Like, I could not handle that. That's so wild. But I just love that this shot is, I don't know, I just love what they're doing with this show and how they're doing it. Now, granted, the lighting is kind of horrible because it's not really controlled. It's more of just like this giant light probably on the back of a truck, and they're filming it.
Yeah.
But I just
absolutely.
I just really appreciated this. So I thought this was.
I like it.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
So the turtles basically do this to get to the aquarium, and they get in, and they're all sneaky, and they're like opening doors and shit, and doing all their ninja stuff to get in there. And then all of a sudden they're met with laughter, and it's the Dragon Lord. He's there with the rank, and he's there with your boy Wick. And they're there, and they're saying some stuff. Let me see. I want to touch on this because this got me.
Okay.
Like this,
pretty good.
This had your boy like, oh
pretty
shit!
Good.
Like, Wick done won this
good.
bitch. Like, boom. Like it was good. So here we go. So the Dragon Lord screws up, or I don't know, says that fear is a distraction, which Donnie asks to be repeated because he didn't hear it. He's like, wait, what'd you say? Your boy Wick just comes back with, what do you care, Turtle? Are you writing a book? And that just got me. Like, anytime someone's going to ask me to repeat something, I'm going to be like, what do you care? Are you writing a book?
It's the timing of it. I think that makes it so funny because it's like, Dragon Lord's like, fear is a distraction. And Donnie's like, what'd you say?
What do you care, Turtle? Are you writing a book?
And it cuts over to him, yes. And you expect the reply to be from Dragon Lord, but it's from Wick. And that's what makes it so funny.
And I love that. And it just made me appreciate Wick being there so much more. Like, he's comedic. Yeah. Like, I love it because he's there for comedy value, but he's also just like there to just rub you the wrong way and just to like antagonize you. And I really appreciate the energy that Wick's bringing here. But what do you care? Yeah. Are you writing a book? I just want to say that all the time now. Just get everybody
so
on
good.
it. Just burning them. So yeah. So at this point, this is where things start to click for Donatello and just the turtles. Like it kind of comes together, and they they realize why neither him nor Venus could figure out like the invincibility serum, like what it was. Like despite all the dolphin scum they could find, like they still didn't register. They figured it out, Ryan, and it's because the spiders are placebos. That's it. That's why the Dragon Lord has more of this to give to more of the rank instead of just the one, because it was all a placebo the entire time. It was gunk.
Yep.
It was bunk. It was the junk is gunk, if you will.
The junk is gunk.
And so, yeah, the turtles just totally realize this, and it's great. So, yeah, and like this explains so much of what we were
so funny.
curious about.
Yes, because like you realize now that when you know the amount of serum they can make, at one point Dragon Lord commands Wick to make him more serum when they don't have any more ingredients. Like you kind of realize like they don't, like at the end of that one episode you're like, wait, there's nothing. And then he's like, we have just enough for one guy. Right. All right, now we have just enough for all of y'all. But if we win, we'll have enough for everyone. Like even the non-elite rank and all this shit. And you just realize like, it was all smoke and mirrors. All of it. And that honestly caught me off guard.
Oh, totally.
When they said that, I was like, what? And then I realized, so like Venus and Donnie were both right, but they were so busy sticking up for their own viewpoint that they didn't look at the other one and go, well, if I'm not finding anything and they're not finding anything, then like we got science and spiritualism covered and nothing's coming up. Yeah. Like it takes Donnie until that last kind of minute to kind of open his mind and go, wait, I think there's actually a really smart lesson in here.
Absolutely.
A little bit. Like, I think it's actually well done where it's a little bit like, like you can miss the forest for the trees. You can become so stuck in your own viewpoint that you discount the other one instead of, if you valued the other viewpoint, then that would actually buttress your point even more.
Absolutely.
Because you'd say, well, if my analyzer can't find crap besides animal bones, there's nothing like some RNA implant that's going to make you stronger, or some like weird venom that makes you stronger, and she can't find the dark chi or the bright chi, then bro, that proves it ain't shit.
Yeah,
I think that's actually like really clever, but Absolutely. I did not see the placebo coming at all.
I did
not
either.
That knocked me on my like M. Night Shyamalan style. I fell on the ground.
Yeah, same. I was like, they're going a little long on this, and I hadn't really thought that this was part 5. Like I hadn't registered that, this is the end of a storyline. So they're going to have to reconcile this, because they've been, piecing it through to where I kind of forgot that was the formula for some of these shows. And so that really helped to hit it home. And so once Donnie gets it, he's got a riddle for y'all. He's got a riddle for y'all.
Oh, damn.
You ready? I mean, surely you jest. But you get your classic, don't call me Shirley. But he goes, here's his riddle. He goes, what happens if you give a sick man a sugar pill? And the Dragon Lord replies, nothing. A sugar pill is worthless. And Donnie goes, no, he'll start feeling better. It's psychological. And then, the turtles are it's starting to click with them. They're like, so the spiders are just jive, right? Like that's what your boy Leo comes in with. And of course, Leo would say the spiders are jive. Like he would be speaking some dated lingo that just doesn't like, I don't know. That was just really funny to me. But yeah, this is where all the turtles, it starts clicking with them. And
it dawns on all of them eventually.
All of them. And they all make their comments. And then that's when they kind of informed the rank pretty much that, they were just ugly jewelry. That's all it was. And there was nothing there to it. And they're
like those little brooches you were wearing. They're just ugly jersey, and all the rank looked down like, what?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Like, it's really good. It's really well done.
Oh yeah, it's great. And so now that the turtles know this and everything, they begin fighting with the rank and the Dragon Lord and all this stuff. And I don't know where Wick goes. Wick's just running around being Wick. But this fight scene is pretty interesting. So like Raph and Leo take on the Dragon Lord, whereas Don, Mike, and Venus, they take off and go. They run around to like the rest of the aquarium or whatever. And they're just, doing all kinds of stuff. The fight scenes are weird because I believe they were showing the same scene. You were talking about the cinematography earlier. This guy, all of his tricks, well, his other trick is just re-show the same shot, but like slower or like reversed and all this other stuff. So yeah, it was kind of weird, but nevertheless, each turtle gets their moment. And then once the rank are defeated, the turtles all team up and they do a mega shellage, just like shell crush.
Hard mega shellage, dude.
Yeah, and on the Dragon Lord and knock him on his ass, and he's just like, oh, he didn't know what to do. So so he ends up just deciding to breathe a bunch of smoke, and just like
that's
just
like me. That's like me vaping your house that one time.
Exactly, that is exactly it. You were wearing that kind of robe thing too. And
the whole outfit on, yeah.
Oh yeah. And yeah, apparently this is like some way of like making like I don't know, like a teleportation thing. Then lightning happens, and it's super weird. So he's gone, and then we get the best part of this episode, Ryan. The ending of the episode. So here we go. The ending of this episode, Leo gets some more angled shots. This is just really
they're
bizarre.
so angled. He looks so tired.
He does.
But I don't know what it is about the angle they got on that on the model there, but he looks so sleepy and like, dude, I'm over this shit.
Oh yeah, because he's been kept up trying to think about this new way that he's apparently just found. So
yeah, he's been missing sleep. Yep.
So Leo begins what is obviously a wrap up of the inner monologue and everything, and like you said earlier, it would have been rad if they would have kind of started at least this. Well, I guess they kind of did with this episode, but if it would have been framed like this, it would have been a little bit better. But are you talking about the entire series?
I was at episode 1.
Yeah.
Instead of that weird scene where it's like I don't even know you anymore, man.
Oh,
like all that shit. Instead of that scene, if it opened with Leo here, like in the aquarium, like shit, you don't understand. Like, and they edited these all at the same time, so they could have just shot another scene of like Leo like at that set, like maybe like before when they're about to lose, like or something, like when like Dragon Lord shows up and you're like, what the hell? And you just be sitting there thinking like, and giving you the first part of this monologue where he feels like they're really splintered and it's like the darkest time. And then when you come back at the end, you realize, oh damn, that's where he was at the beginning. And now he's like, I realize we're all same. This all sides of a really awesome coin, basically. Like that like I wish, because it comes out of nowhere here.
It does.
It feels real weird because you've never had a Leo narrative monologue ever. Not once. It would have been so good if it was back at the beginning, so it was a frame around this 5-part series, but whatever.
Yeah, like I think his exact words are different pieces to the same puzzle is what he says.
Sure.
Which further emphasizes the same idea, which is neat. I mean, I guess he's just saying that they all can work together. They just have to work together. It's a big message about teamwork. But the way this is shot, it looks like you said earlier, he's in a hip hop video, like like in the 90s. Like it's like, oh yeah, like I would expect like Money and scantily clad people just being all around him, just dancing and being sweaty. And he's like, yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's episode 5 of Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation. And so I loved this. I thought this was great.
Me too.
I like we said, like the whole placebo thing, I was totally not thinking that, but that's a total villain thing to do.
Yes.
And I
that was really cool
that they utilized that very much. I wish they would have emphasized what Dolphin Scum was, but like it's not
it's
a deal
bullshit.
breaker. That's what
bullshit.
it is. That's what it is. So interesting.
So this left me, because at first, the first part of the episode, I was like, okay, Dragon Lord's like, we're gonna set a trap. I'm like, okay, and then I admit the Leo, like, the new way, that was kind of interesting. But at first, I was like, man, like, it started to feel a little bit like a nothing burger at the very beginning. So I was kind of like, well, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like, and we're like 5-6 minutes. I'm like, what are we gonna do? And then all of a sudden, they just kind of rolling all the stuff at you. They established the B plot with Venus and Donnie being at odds, right? Science versus mysticism. They set up a lot of stuff about the serum that had me kind of like, well, that's dumb. Like, why would they have like all that
Right.
serum? But then afterwards, I gotta be honest, it had me asking questions.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
for example, it really led me to wonder how much the Dragon Lord knew it was a placebo, or if Wick was behind that shit.
Oh, that's a good question.
Listen to this tinfoil hat theory.
Okay.
So Wick is all about animals and, like, frankly, animals' organs and like gross shit. He's
Their
basically
bones.
like an animal serial killer. It's kind of like what his thing is.
Yeah.
I mean, damn near ate a dog and then said he wouldn't, and we know he did.
We know.
So that happened, and he had them looking up all this crazy stuff because he's like crazy. And I think the Dragon Lord my pet theory is the Dragon Lord thought that was all real. That like Wick had this mysticism. Wick led him along, and he's like, Wick, can we make more serum? And
Right.
if you think about it, characters like Wick are interesting because they're not physically strong, so they have to get by on their intelligence, right?
Yeah.
So he starts to sell him a bit of a bill of goods. Remember that episode where we talked about how he spilled like half the ass serum like all over that book?
Oh yeah.
He was only able to fill up one spider and said there's one dose.
Right.
If you look at how imprecise he is, I'm probably giving the show too much credit. It's almost like he's just making up as he goes. He's like, this is enough for one.
Yeah.
And then Dragon Lord's like, oh, what else do we need? What else do we need to get more serum? He's like, well, a bunch of gross shit, obviously, plus this other shit. So my pet theory is that the Dragon Lord was on this plan. He was being led by the nose by Wick. Wick was running him on a merry chase because it was a placebo. So he's really smart. And he's like, oh, like the Dragon Lord respects power.
Mm-hmm.
And if I tell the rank that they're invincible, they'll fight like it.
Yeah.
And then Dragon Lord will be happy with me. But I don't actually know how to make invincibility serum. But I'm sure the Dragon Lord will believe it's a bunch of like witches brew bullshit.
Yeah.
That's why I think Dragon Lord answers the question from Donnie honestly when he says, "What happens if you give a sick guy a sugar pill?" And Dragon Lord walks right into it.
Yeah.
I don't think Dragon Lord gets it yet.
Yeah, he doesn't realize.
I think if that's true, that's really awesome. Where Dragon Lord's like, what's this nonsense? He's like, let me ask you a question, asshole. Because of course, Dragon Lord's like, oh, I'm still in the foreplay part before I unleash my invincible rank on you, right? That's like what the phase of this I'm at. But Donnie's like, I'm a step ahead of you. So answer me this. What is up with that sugar pill? And Dragon Lord walks right into it. Dragon Lord, if he knew this was all a placebo, wouldn't entertain. He knew the game was up.
Oh,
he
absolutely.
might dragon smoke peace out at that point because he's like, oh, the game's over.
Right.
But I think he doesn't know. And that's why Wick is hiding during that whole fight. Because Dragon Lord just got told that it's all junk, right? The stuff is junk.
It's over. Junk.
And he does escape with Wick, but yeah, that's my theory. And if that's true, I really love it.
Yeah.
Because you have forces working inside the villain side of things that are very interesting. It's not just Wick or Dragon Lord and his sidekick Wick. That Wick actually, I think, played Dragon Lord this whole time with his serum shit, which I think is awesome.
Oh, I do too. And to add to that, unless you actually said it, I don't know if I can't remember if you actually said this or not, but I think I'm just adding to it. Your idea about Wick and him like eating animals and stuff like that. This could also be ulterior motives for Wick to get
absolutely
either in a place, because you got to remember Wick is the smallest of the Dragon Lord's army, and that we've seen at least. And so to have the army go with him places that he can get out and have protection and still acquire whatever he wants to satisfy his urges or whatever, and also to make it part of the plot, that seems like a good plan, and I love that. It gives him pretty so much. Sick. Yeah, he's pretty
really
clever.
Cool.
Yeah. And I was not expecting that, so that's really neat. And again, I love that they didn't lean on the whole mysticism thing. That it wasn't another about another Venus thing where she does something and it changes. But I enjoyed this.
Serum don't fit. You must have quit.
Exactly. And I love all the scene changes, like all the different places they've gone to. That's really cool. And this show has been like really decent. Like I've enjoyed it.
yes, if we want to just like share a couple seconds of thoughts on on just the whole 1 through 5, right? Because when we
Yeah.
get into the next episode, episode 6, we're starting like, okay, this has been picked up now, and it's kind of like it's its own. Think it's going to go anywhere. We have no idea where it's going to go, right? Because we haven't seen these, but this is a tight little story. Obviously, it kind of flagged in the middle, right? It was flagged a little bit down there, a little sluggish. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? But in general, it did wrap around, and it did what its job was. Because I think this East meets West, literally just by the name, is about the introduction of Venus to the Turtles. That's what the entire episodes, the entire arc is about. That and introducing a new villain, dispensing with Shredder, and all that crap in the foot, replacing it with Dragon Lord and the Rank, who are the new villain set, and upgrading that villain set. And introducing Venus where she is integrated with the squad, and literally Leo's like kind of mission statement at the end of the episode says, I thought we were so different, but it turns out we are all different pieces that interlock, right? That we're a team. I think it completely accomplished the assignment. I'll just say that. And it's very easy to look at this show and pick on the cheesy stuff because there's a ton, and we grab.
And I was ready to do that
all the time.
Like
it's
I
fun.
was
like
totally ready to do that, but nah. Like
this might be controversial, but I'll say this: the late seasons of the animated series, the '87 animated series, were an obvious evolution and upgrade on the earlier seasons. Red Skies were an evolution on that. They got to serialized storylines, stuff like that, which you had to have. A little bit of a darker subject matter and darker vibe, which works for the Turtles. It's why it worked in the 1990 movie, because you can't see half a shit. Exactly. And that's what makes it look so good. Red Skies got back to that. Now, in this show, granted, the lighting is a little bit more TMNT too. Little secret to use lighting, but not always. And shit is still dark. And they have a 5-part contiguous serialized story.
They do.
Where you can actually follow what happens episode to episode in the evolution of the problems between Raph and Leo, right? And the integration of Venus and all this different stuff. And it's Splinter struggling and like losing control of Raph especially. And maybe, depending on what the end of this sounds, potentially lost control over the Turtles in general if Raph's new way like goes into effect. Yeah, man, the same joke every week that resets over and over again is not as good as this. People that kind of walk over this series and kind of like do the, we'll pick on the redheaded stepchild because that's what the story is, and ha ha ha, next mutation. And I'm not saying there's any kind of sarcasm. I'm here to tell you that I would argue that this is better than many parts of the '87 animated series that people cherish and covet, and shall not ever speak ill of. You know what I'm saying? And that is, and I want to make it clear, that is not a critique of what people love about the '87 series. It is what it is. It just is what it is. It's more of a boost up on this series. Okay, I'm just telling you, these things are on level, and in some ways, the Next Mutation rises above that. So appreciate it and go forward, because I expected, honestly, a disaster. Like an absolute funny of the week. There's a female turtle now. Swing disaster is what I expected. And it has not been that.
It hasn't been. There are elements of it, and they're like, it could easily devolve into that. But it has like this this Adam West Batman type thing to it, that it's zany and it's cheesy, but there's still some kind of like there's something about it that gives it, like, you take it a little bit seriously too. It's fun, but it's still like intellectually, like there's some quandaries and things that they're exploring. It kind of reminds me, and this is only because I'm back on my Kamen Rider kick, but like no pun intended, but the when we started watching Gaim, like back in the day, like when it was on,
Gaim was really good. Yeah.
and everybody, all the memes and all the stuff online where people were talking about how it's like, oh, this could be on HBO because it's got a Game of Thrones type of thing. Now, the thing with that show is that it's about fruit samurais that go around and they fight and stuff, and it looks very like cheesy, but the writer of that
why
show,
is it so badass? Why is Gaim so badass for what it is? Like if you read it about it on paper, you'd be like, it's garbage. You watch it and you're like, why is this so slick and badass?
Yeah,
why do I love this so much?
Next. Exactly. And
yeah,
I don't necessarily, and that show and this show are in the same genre, tokusatsu. It would be the same thing.
Absolutely.
I don't think this show is quite to that level, but it's in that same kind of like conversation where it's like there's some serious stuff here that's really neat, and it's not just like a kids show to sell toys. It's like there's some other things to mull over and things you're thinking about when you're like, oh man, like the new way is actually taking the old and the new and the different and seeing how they all work together and stuff like that. And you're like, oh shit, like that could be like applied to all kinds of things in my life. So yeah, and that's the other thing. I don't feel like they're trying to sell toys with this so far. Like this doesn't feel like they're putting anything like honest, and I don't know. I don't really remember a lot of the toys. I mean, except for now that Jake is giving me this. Which, real quick, do you remember if Venus has the yin and yang symbol on her leg like she does in this toy?
She may.
I don't know. I haven't seen Venus's legs. And
I haven't seen it.
If she does, then Raph needs to work on that artist sketch that he was doing, because I don't think that was on the legs either. So there's a lot to be fixed there. But yeah,
there is a lot to it. Yeah, we'll see.
I'm loving this, so I hope y'all are too. And what do y'all think? You know, are you enjoying any of this at all? Are we loud and wrong about this? Are we just in our own shell about this? I don't know, but we want to hear from you.
Our own shell about this.
Thank you. We want to hear from you. Let us know, turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. You can send us all kinds of stuff. If they're short, we're going to read them on the show. If they're longer, we're going to read them on a chef special. Then, let us know in the comments, too, for those of you here on YouTube. We really appreciate that. And, if you want to hear more of us talking about the last 5 episodes, as well as anything else turtle-related so far in the journey, you can do that by finding us on the home of the internet, turtlesoupshow.com, as well as anywhere that you listen to podcasts. We're also on the social medias, Instagram with the underscores between Turtle Soup Show, and we're on the Facebook group. That's where a lot of us hang out, and we get most of our turtle news, and that's really one of the only reasons to show up on Facebook anymore. But
yeah, pretty much.
You know, we're there and it's fun, and we appreciate all of y'all that contribute to that. Thank you very much. And we're also on YouTube right here. If you're just listening to us, if you're watching us, then you know that we're on YouTube. And if you're here watching us and you haven't liked and subscribed, please consider doing that, because that helps us out a lot. I know you hear every YouTuber say that, and they say that because it's true, and that's what it does. And so, and if you know anyone that would like this show or thinks that we're funny or whatever, or stupid or whatever you want to get out of this show, please share the show with others, and let us know about that experience, if you will. Like, that'd be kind of a fun thing to run, is to see about like telling other people about coming and checking out the show. But yeah, there's that. And thank you. And if you're an audio listener, we appreciate you as well. And if either way, if you want to help support the show, you can do that by going to patreon.com and find We Done Been Making a Podcast. And I've been behind on making the rewards, which they're going to get out because I had some problems. But
you done been busy, and we done love you. So.
It's well, I'm done love y'all too. Thank you.
Love it.
And so, but yeah, we got all kinds of cool stuff on there. We're having conversations behind the curtain about revamping some stuff on there to mix it up and to do some cool stuff. So we're hoping to try to get into that in the near future. But yeah, nevertheless, that's up there. And if you want to just throw some pennies our way, it really helps us to keep the lights on and not say clang. So there's that. And I think that's going to do it for this part of the episode, Ryan, which I think is the end of the episode, if I'm not mistaken. So, so next time you see us on Prime, we should be doing the next episode, which I believe should be
episode 6.
Episode 6. So, or is it 5? No, it's 6. This whole thing with 3.
You are messed up real bad.
I'm real bad. That's why we messed up at the beginning of the show. But yeah, episode 6. All these numbers, they're running together. But anyway, speaking of running, else time.